supernova, let them know I'm always repping that red side. That vibrate, we all right. No chance y'all be all
Don't
right.
matter if you black, purple, yellow, red, or white. Cause I seen heroes save the dark inside and stare the light.
I'm awakened and I'm ready for the confrontation. Stack.
Yo, that beat was fire. Did y'all hear that intro music?
Yeah.
Gang, we back. We live. How y'all feeling?
I'm good. I'm chilling. My one day off in the middle of the week. My next day off not until Friday. I know it's weird, but we
Yeah, my boy had court today, so I had to step in for him, and I worked today, so you know.
You worked? I thought you had to go to court for somebody.
Yeah, that's what.
No. He had court, so he asked me to switch. So like my day to work was 8 o'clock tomorrow. His day was 8 o'clock today.
You made it sound like he had court, and so you dressed up as him and went as him. That would have been
that would have been better.
That would have been wild, but
I appreciate that.
I am not that ride or die for any of my friends. Like I love y'all to death, but like you gotta go to court for yourself, my brother.
Just do this time for me real quick. Do this time for me real quick.
I ain't think I got 3 kids and 1 on the way. I can't, my boy.
I'll be there when you get done.
I can't, my boy. But yeah, speaking of things that we can't stop talking about things that are alleged this week. So this week we're gonna get into the allegedness of whether Palworld is a adult Pokemon and the crimes of one Vincent K. McMahon, and how since the 1950s, specifically 1959, there has been a McMahon at the helm of WWE, and now there isn't. That's impressive. And we'll get there.
I did see the little clip where The Rock was appointed to the board for WWE and for UFC.
So The Rock got appointed to TKO Holdings board. TKO is the parent company because WWE sold to WWE and UFC both sold their rights to TKO Holdings to merge into a bigger company. And The Rock recently became a board member.
Yeah.
Same day that WWE closed a $5 billion 10-year deal with Netflix. Same exact day that the lawsuit was alleged and brought out against Vince McMahon. So this is the same woman who was allegedly being paid off and had an NDA that made Vince step down the first time before the sale of WWE to TKO. And that was allegedly an NDA worth $3 million that made not only his wife leave, one Mr. John Laurinaitis, his wife leave him, which to WWE fans would know him better as the Bella Twins' stepfather. They don't go by the Bellas anymore, but they had a show. They're really big. They did Total Bellas. Nikki Garcia, I believe her name is, because she no longer goes as Nikki Bella. They gave that name and the rights back to WWE.
See, this my whole thing with WWE, right? I understand it's an entertainment thing. Motherfuckers make up storylines, but I don't own my own fucking name, my own stage name. I don't fucking own. Who else are you gonna give this shit to? Who the fuck else are you gonna call The Rock? Like, nigga, who else are you gonna give to?
When The Rock became that member of the TKO holding board, he got his name officially back. Stone Cold that's his stage name, but he doesn't own that name legally.
But that's what I'm saying. Who the fuck else is gonna be Stone Cold?
Whenever he comes back, they're gonna hold on to it till he comes back.
Yep, they hold all the proprietary rights to that because they can still make money off of your name, license, and image.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. That's crazy. Because and what's weird because The Rock has made shirts saying The Rock literally this whole time. So like, or does he no longer now have to give a piece of that money to them?
He no longer.
He completely owns it.
He completely owns it. Like Rock. Certain people go by their first name in other companies and other things because they want to be known, and you can't trademark my actual name. So when, for example, Naomi, the wrestler who came back at Royal Rumble, was known as Trinity because that's her real name in TNA and everywhere else she went, because the fuck you gonna do? I'm Trinity. That's me.
That's my name.
You can't do that. You can't market that.
Yeah.
All you can do is market me, baby. I am who I am.
Mm-hmm. But if you don't have a good name like Trinity, then you got to use a stage name.
I mean, some people do have very good names. Like there was a wrestler whose name was like Barbie Blank. That's her actual real life name. They made her into Kelly Kelly. That was a step back.
Yeah.
Your name is too awesome. Let's make you just hear something else.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people out there that's Mike Awesome. That's your actual name. And I mean, it goes backwards too. Like you could be Bigfoot Gonzalez. Like,
so
that's an actual name.
So to me, a lot of the shit has always been story scripted, right? Like the whole Vince McMahon shit with his son, his daughter, whatever. So how much of the shit is actually story, WWE scripted, and real life? Like, no, he's an actual in real life asshole who chooses to not do things.
It's easier to act on stuff if it's like based off of something. Just saying.
Allegedly, a lot of the stuff that he did was because he's an actual asshole, and that's who his real personality was. Like, I remember in the 90s where he had Trish Stratus, one of like profoundly, like I remember her having these real great matches. I also remember her getting down to her bra and panties and barking like a dog.
So that was that in the script for her to do because they wanted it to be good writing?
It's because Vince told her to do it. I remember Vince having people actually kiss his ass on live TV. I remember him making fun of Jerry Lawler, not Jerry Lawler. Yeah, Jerry Lawler and his Bell's palsy live. Like doing shit because he thought it was funny because he could. Like, allegedly, a lot of the shit that he did was terrible. And I'm saying shit because he allegedly shit on this woman's head. Like that's what she's claiming, that he defecated on her head, that she was trafficked, sent to actually like other people. Allegedly, one of those people was a former UFC heavyweight champion. In order to get him to re-sign a contract, her nudes and her videos were sent to him as a leveraging factor to get him to come back. And in the time rate that she said that this allegedly happened, there was a new contract signed and he showed up for SummerSlam. And that's not alleged.
Right.
And I mean, when you're dealing with millionaires, there's only so much money that you can offer somebody.
Right, yeah, because what's up with palm curler people and shitting on stuff? Like, what?
You don't understand. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't.
No, you're right. I wouldn't get why you need to pull it.
I'm talking about the primal urge to show everybody what you can do because you can, man. I'm talking about marking my territory and making sure it stains. You know what I'm saying? But you don't get
shit.
I have never thought of that. I've never been like, I'm a shit on your head.
Yeah, I've never been so like either angry.
Look, you gotta understand, and have to have been to the actual bottom scum of the internet to figure out. Like, I mean, I figured this out when I was 9 because I'm curious and I like to get on the computers and
I ain't never been that curious.
Get past the schools like safety nets. Like, bro, you got a whole like. To better explain, there are porn sites with like billions of categories because people just like to mix and match. And then when you think like, man, people like the shit. People like to watch people shit. 2 girls, 1 cup. Like it
and that got me. That made me want to turn that off at the part with the shit.
Well, yeah, that's you. And that's perfectly acceptable to society. But some people
I don't get
want more.
Like, why?
they just want more. And I can't explain that. That's not something I indulge in.
I mean, clearly at 9 you indulged in finding shit on the internet. So
well, I didn't find it. I got told, hey, look, bro, check this out. Oh, that's cool. What is that? You like girls, right? Yeah, I do. And check this video out, bro. But watch it while nobody's around. That's weird.
That's so crazy that like you found that at 9. I was in like 11th, maybe 12th grade when last seen Two Girls One Cup.
You want to know something cool? I've never seen the video. I've never.
No, I mean, someone showed me while we were in school.
Check this link out. I'm
gonna send it.
I do not want to see the video.
Send them the link.
Bring your wife too. Check this out.
Nope.
Let's do it right now.
No, I'm good.
Call her real quick.
Get her from the Better Half show.
Watch it. Yeah. Watch it so she could talk about it.
I don't like watching people shit. So
y'all wanna,
I mean,
y'all want to do a movie night?
A very intimate moment.
Y'all want to do a movie night?
No.
How about a movie night?
When people say I like getting peed on, I thought that was weird. When Young
that,
Miami,
that's weird enough in itself.
He likes golden showers. I thought that was weird.
But
I don't judge your kinks, and I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't kink about. But I can tell you, sex trafficking someone allegedly, whether or not he did it, it's wrong, and we aren't here to take sides, but like the shit that he's alleged to have done clearly made his wife leave. And like there was a point where Shane McMahon was ousted from the company and no one understood why. Like the rumor was that it was because he did some terrible booking of like the last Royal Rumble and like all this extra shit that he was doing. Apparently and allegedly, it was because he found out about the shit that his pops was doing, tried to stop it, and he got him the fuck up out of there. He's like, nah, bro, like, you ain't gonna do this shit to me. So Vince stepped down at one point, came back because he said no one's going to sell the company because Vincent K. McMahon bought the company from Vincent J. McMahon, his dad from back in the day. His dad ran it with the territories back when there was Ric Flair, Junkyard Dog, Hulk Hogan. All of these people were traveling around at different territories, and Vince brought all of them together and said, I want to have one show, all the biggest stars, put them in one night, and then I put it on live TV. So instead of being able to say, well, you seen this person in the South, you seen this person in Tennessee, you seen this person in New York, you can see all of them everywhere on TV. Genius, revolutionary, but he screwed a lot of people doing that, made a lot of enemies. And he just kept making enemies all the way through. So the shit that he's alleged to do in this lawsuit, it is a very big lawsuit. And this woman was ready to walk away from it all. All he had to do was keep paying her. And them checks did not keep coming. He allegedly paid her $1 million out of the NDA money that he was supposed to, and then stopped. Payment stopped. She said, cool. That's a breach of contract. You're not keeping up to your part of the NDA. I'm going to file this lawsuit. The only two people that are named in the lawsuit as of right now are one John Laurinaitis and one Vincent K. McMahon.
So now my question is this lawsuit for money or is this lawsuit for justice?
Both. I can't really say or speak to her motivations or her motives, but like, she probably needs some real therapy. Like it was alleged that like she was getting therapy from a doctor, from like a celebrity doctor. Like the text messages that were allegedly sent to her were like terrible and tragic. Like she was supposed to go to John Laurinaitis' room allegedly and present herself as if she were his breakfast every morning in the hotel. Mind you, he was a married man at the time. So if this did happen, he was cheating with his wife with this, I wouldn't even say like gorgeous looking woman, because a lot of the women in WWE were way better looking, in my opinion, than this like average looking woman. Like she looked like an average woman, not like somebody like, yo, I'm gonna risk my whole company for you.
Right.
Bro, dang, you definitely just kind of really insulted her for real. That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, low key, they kind of just insulted.
You're evil, holy.
You're like, yeah, you just pretty much told her she's not worth.
Yeah, you literally said she's like just really bad. Like
she's a billionaire. You'd risk $1 billion and like your reputation that you spent all these years building for anyone
obviously not.
Married.
I think you could have put that a different way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not denying anything that you said. I believe in everything you said. Me personally, I would have said worse things, but you said it in a very sophisticated, like, yeah, she just really unattractive, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, you was like you made it sound like it would be okay if it was for
if it was somebody else, and be like, you know what, I could think about it, but you
I can
like,
see that she was more attractive than
I mean, out of the things that she alleged that he did, I could never see myself doing to anyone, no matter how they looked. But she just, in my opinion, and I'm not saying this like as if any woman deserved this or any woman deserves anything.
Hold on, let me make sure
to happen to them.
Write this down as you're saying.
It's just, I wouldn't risk it all for her. Is what I'm saying.
The worst you can say is no, right? The worst you can say is no, because that's a rejection right there.
Like,
so what is supposed to be the outcome, or is supposedly supposed to be the outcome for this?
Yeah, what is?
He's a billionaire, so there's a lot of outcomes that can come out of this, right? Because like Trump got sued for, I can't remember how many millions he got sued for originally for like sexually assaulting this woman back in the 90s. Allegedly. I want to say it was like 50. No, it was not alleged. It was proven in court that he assaulted this woman. He said that he didn't. He said he didn't know her. Then he started defaming her. She took him back to court, and he lost the lawsuit for another $98 million. That's not alleged. He owes this woman $98 million. They've proven in court that he has sexually assaulted her. He has done these things. Not alleged. The court said it. That's out of my hands. I wasn't there. I was barely a kid in the 90s. But I can tell you what the court documents say. The document said from that court ruling, you did it, and now you have to pay for defaming her. So when billionaires go to court, they lose big dollars, and I ain't got them kind of dollars to be able to count what her pocket's gonna look like after this. Jeff Bezos' ex-wife divorced him and took $500 million. She became one of the richest women in the world after a divorce.
Yeah, and he shitted the other $500 million like 4 seconds later.
Absolutely. I mean, this motherfucker's like, okay, y'all ain't gonna stop buying
you
from
got
Amazon.
It, you got it, right?
Yeah, ball out.
I mean, and that one's a little bit different because Jeff Bezos was like, "What? That's all you want?" Like he probably gave that to her super. It was like, "You only want $500 million? Okay, bitch, I'll give you $500 million right now." Like we wrote off $500 million in taxes yesterday. The fuck?
Yeah. I mean, if you got that Jeff Bezos money, you got that Jeff Bezos money. Like Vince McMahon does not have that Jeff Bezos money, but she about to come up on something, and all she wanted was $3 million. Like she was going to get $3 million from the lawsuit, from the NDA, and he screwed that up, and now she's getting more than the $3 million that she would have gotten. So, fuck it, she balling now.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, speaking of other lawsuits, we gotta talk about the hottest topic that's moving on right now. All right, and for our fans out there, for our diehard fans out there, what we ask is that you do not bash one another in the comments for their opinions, but just bash the respective companies. Okay, just that's it. Because I know sometimes our fandom gets really, really fucking toxic. Depending on whatever the fandom is, it can be very toxic. But we don't want you guys
super toxic,
super fucking toxic. But we're gonna talk about it now, and we're gonna talk about these people here, right? We're gonna show you these people here, the Pokemon Company. All right, that's King Gam. All right, and that's just because I got my thing up. But
you hurt your background.
And their Palworld, right? And does Pokemon finally have a competitor to make them be better, right? Because obviously, if you don't have nobody competing with you to make you be better, you're just gonna fucking coast. And that's what Pokemon showed us. And I said this when Gen 10, that's what they did. They just fucking coasted. They didn't try. They didn't fucking do shit. They said, hey, Gen 10, you're going to get what the fuck I give you, the end.
Yeah,
right?
they did Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus 9.5. Like that's what that was, because it was like it was a bit of Sword and Shield, it was a bit of Legends Arceus, mashed it together, gave you 40 new Pokemon, and said, "All right, good luck." Yeah, and their version exclusive.
They pretty much dropped a DLC and was like, "Here's a new game."
They gave you a half completed game and then sold you a DLC.
Yeah, for Gen 10. But now again, you guys might hear me go back and forth. I really love Pokemon. I've been a Pokemon fan since 1996 when Pokemon Yellow came out and was released. A few months after Pokemon Red and Blue, or like a month or so after Red and Blue. So I've been a diehard fan since Gen 1. I'm not a Gen 1er. I believe in progression of technology. So if you ask me, anything Gen 4 and before is absolute dog water, because the pixels are water. There was no storyline in Gen 1. Like I would just say that there was no fucking storyline for Gen 1. But Gens 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, there was an actual storyline. And so it actually became good. However, Palworld, I do not know. I have not played it. Let me start off there. I have not played Palworld. So I do not know if there's a storyline to Palworld. What I do know is that the what you can fucking do in Palworld is what I wish Pokemon would allow people to do.
Capture people? Capture people? Because you can capture people in Palworld, and you can't.
Yes. I've captured so many people. Yes. They're my pals.
Yes. Do you know how many times I've watched the animated Pokemon animated series? I'm like, you know what? Why don't you just run a fade with this motherfucker? Why?
It's giving racism, but slavery under different.
All right. Why don't we just run a fade? Like, fuck Pikachu and Charmander, bro. I'll just beat your ass myself. Like, why don't we do that instead? Right? James pulled out an AK and finally realized.
We got a bit of that in Legends Arceus.
No, but see, it was, and even Legends Arceus was kind of like, because first off, I just do this all together. I hate time rifts in any fucking thing, right? In any game, any movie, time rifts that make you go backwards and then forward and then like, oh, this is what, and then we're going to mix the future and the past. Like, just create an actual past version of Pokemon. Like, this is what Pokemon was like in the 1800s, motherfucker. Like, just create that, right? We know that creatures like Arceus, Dialga, Giratina, like, we know that these are legendary creatures that created time, space. We know that Arceus, they transcend time. That's what they were made for. Why do we have to say that there's a space rift, which is why we've created all these other fucking timelines in Pokemon, and now the shit doesn't make sense? That's what I hate.
You answered your own question about it, and I guess you hate that you did, because we have a Pokemon that represents time in general. And you got to think about what is happening in Arceus. Like, both space and time was wild. They could do whatever they wanted. They didn't have an explanation for the time space rifts. They were just like,
I think you could have created you could have created an actual storyline based on the past, not one that says we pulled a guy. No, you pulled a guy from the future.
Yes.
Which is why he had a future fucking cell phone.
Yes.
And all this other future shit in the past.
Yeah.
But why not just create a past game? This is what Pokemon was like in the past.
This is what happens.
This is what Pikachu looks like before evolution. Like,
it's a Rotom. We should never have made Rotom. You would have been happy if we never had Rotom. That is what you're saying right now.
Yeah, probably.
Rotom's the only thing that makes everything else bad for the time travel. Now, we were talking about this earlier, right before the podcast started, about how like pretty much is Palworld going to be like the Pokemon killer, right? Like we're doing comparisons between that and like other games that could be like Pokemon, right?
Right. But there were no other games like Pokemon.
Right. But I'm gonna give you how garbage Pokemon is as an entry in gaming in general, right? Okay. I love Pokemon, I really do. I promise you. But here's the problem, I just happened to type it all down, right? Mm-hmm. So I was saying that it's kind of compared to Call of Duty. How Call of Duty releases one every year. People are gonna just wake up to buy garbage to play for the next year. It's the same thing you're playing every time. Honestly, maybe there's like one new thing. Oh shit, he could slide in this game. Oh shit, they have like one ability, which pretty much is Black Ops. But how many side games did Pokemon have that was the same shit that they released to buy more time for new games? We're even count Arceus, so I'm gonna put Arceus down here. Pokemon Legends Arceus, even though it was really good and it is exactly what Palworld is, or exactly what Pokemon should be compared to. You know how many I got? I got you right here, right? So it's out of order, but I got Leaf Green. That is a remake of Red, or Red and Green and Pokemon Yellow.
It's like it's like a mixture.
Mixture? Yeah, sure. There's new stuff afterwards, but it's still the same game. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna count Leaf Green and Fire Red, right? Let's go, Pokemon Pikachu and Eevee. What are you gonna say about that?
Let's go. Well, so those are you're talking about remake games, but they say these games
remake games that works too. I'm gonna definitely remake a game to get more money off of kids that don't know better, and their parents aren't gonna question it.
Well, not that they don't know better. Mm-hmm. The kids that you make Pokemon Let's Go in Eevee and Pikachu for are for kids that weren't born in '96 when the original Pokemon
Go with
game
their parents, right?
Huh?
To get more money because they play Pokemon Go with their parents, which is why we're gonna make a Let's Go for the Switch.
Well, that's all video games.
Sure. Right? That's fine. Sure.
That's all video games. Yeah. That's fine.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, right? It's remakes, right? That we played the
Alpha
game
Ruby
before.
And Sapphire. Yep, they are remakes.
Black 2, White 2.
What about Pokken?
We'll
those were direct sequels.
It's a different game because it's a fighting game. It's a straight fighting game. Like, I'm not even gonna count Pokemon Coliseum because that was still different. Anything that's actually different from the formula. Black 2, White 2
are not they are
not remakes.
No, they are the extension of Black and White.
Like,
so it is an extension.
They are direct sequels.
They're the direct sequel on DS. So Black and White 2 would be like the DLC event, right? For DS. But because they didn't have DLCs back then, they created a whole new game to create an extension of Black and White. They could have
made Gray.
They
could have made the third game Gray. They should have. Because look, Gold, Silver, and Crystal. That was part 2 of Red, Blue, and Yellow. Think about it. You can go back to Kanto, get the badges, and fight Red. That's the DLC.
So you're talking about Heart Gold, Silver.
Gold. I'm not there yet. But I'm glad you brought that up because those two are down here. I'm talking about the original Gold, Silver, and Crystal. That's just part 2 for Pokemon. That's part 2. You can go back to the other you go back to
not in Gold and not in the original Gold and Silver. Can't go back. Not in the original
Silver and Crystal. You can go back, get the badges, and fight Red. It is part 2 for the game.
Oh yeah, so you're talking about, but you're still talking about
you early. I'm telling you, Pokemon got you early.
You're talking about a whole other region, a whole other set of Pokemon.
Story slightly at the end. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Explain it. Tell me right now.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is an extension of Sun and Moon.
Just an Ultra Wormhole.
So that's the only difference.
That's all they gave you.
You mad about space-time rifts, and you talk about a wormhole.
This is why Rich. This is why Rich is like arguing with a brick wall because he's like,
no, I get it, and I can see the cracks in the wall because you are buying the same. I'm not saying you're buying the same game because
Pokemon because Silver, Gold, and Crystal is the second generation of Pokemon. It's not the same game.
It's DLC.
It's not DLC. It's literally a whole new 150 Pokemon,
right? It is DLC because you can go back and do all this. You can literally just go back and reverse.
If that's the case, then by that logic, Pokemon as a whole is one giant.
It's just DLC. That's what I'm.
But they're different stories each time.
So then any game would be one. Any game with sequels is technically a giant DLC.
No,
Yes, any game with sequels. Is it Tekken? Tekken's 1, 2, Tekken's Team Tag, Tekken 3, 4.
No, there's a different story. The only thing that's the same is you got a guy who throws somebody off a cliff. That is the whole difference.
No.
I promise you.
That means all of the Tekken
like Gold and Silver were technically different. You had different gym leaders. You had different people.
That's what I told him.
They are different. I'm saying it's DLC because while it might be different, you're doing something else. You're doing the same thing, actually.
No, because
if that's the case,
in different generations of Pokemon, they introduce something different.
Well, then what game that has a sequel is completely different?
Jack 2.
Jack 2 was a continuation of Jack 1.
Nah, it's a sequel.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
Jack 2 was a continuation of Jack 1.
That's exactly how Pokemon is.
His first words were, "I'm gonna kill Praxis, the bastard." He had not spoken at all, and his first words, "I'm gonna kill somebody." That's not.
No, it's not. It's the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. You literally, it's DLC.
The same thing. It's a game of voice actor.
DLC in your own context. DLC.
Sure.
So name a game that's complete. Name a game that has a sequel.
Like buying the same game over and over again, like local players to Call of Duty if it's DLC, right? That's the point I'm making.
That's all video games. Name a video game with a sequel or prequel that's completely different.
Because Marvel vs. Capcom sells you the same game each time.
Each time. Spider-Man is Spider-Man, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the same fucking game. The only thing they did was add Peter Parker and a different fucking. They didn't really even change spider suits. They literally gave you the same spider suits.
I could say the Spider-Man for the Marvel Spider-Man and then Miles Morales.
Same Spider-Man game.
No, he's black.
Is that not DLC?
It's DLC.
That's DLC.
Technically, it is a
now
DLC.
He's a black man.
Technically, it's actually quite a DLC.
So again, gaming in itself, through your own logic, would be an entire DLC. Just whatever game it is, its series of games would be a giant DLC.
We'll say that. Explain to me these money-hungry, grubby little gremlins. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
They're remakes. First off, remakes for a brand new system. It's a remake for a brand new system.
The first remake was
adults, not children. Adults asked for these remakes. Adults asked for remake games on the brand new Switch system.
Absolutely.
The same way you allow you
Gen 1 remake.
Actually, no, we didn't.
Yes,
we didn't ask for
Gen 1 remakes. And it's the same group of people that asked for yellow, red, and blue to be moved to the Switch shop so that you could play a retro old ass game on the Switch.
So I wanted the retro game to play, not the remake. There was another remake we wanted, not that.
You want they asked for Gen 1 remake. Not after did you ask for Gen 1 remake? You then asked for another Let's Go right after Pikachu and Eevee. They just didn't give it to you. They gave you Legends Arceus. After Legends Arceus, you know what everyone asked for? Legends Celebi. Nigga, you're asking for this shit and they gave it to you. It's just not as good as what you wanted it to be.
They're going for coin at this point. They're going for gold. You
asked for it, they gave it to you, and now you're just upset because it's not as good as you asked for.
I am upset. They're evil. Okay, check it out. Okay. All right. Back on the actual shit. Palworld, right? What do you have against Palworld? What do you have towards Palworld that I can?
Personally, I have nothing against Palworld. Me personally, I believe Pokemon, the next, and I've told this in my Pokemon groups. If Gen 11 and or Legends Celebi isn't more open and kind of like Palworld, now that the world has been shown there is a company willing to go toe to toe with Pokemon, right? Because before Palworld, no one was willing to go toe to toe with Pokemon. They weren't.
Palworld almost ripped off Pokemon and then said, "You ain't gonna sue me."
Right, but that's what I'm saying. They were willing to go toe to toe with Pokemon and say, "Hey, you're not gonna do shit." So they were willing to do that. So now Pokemon has to go back and say, "Fuck, we have to compete with Palworld. We have to be better because if we don't, Gen 11, if it don't sell the same as Palworld did in the first week, 20 million plus fucking copies, people are going to have more of a reason to not want our product, except for children." But do you know who's buying children games? The adults that played Pokemon. So there you go. If you're Gen
Let's
11,
put a flag in that play. Like,
Why?
let's stop right here and say, one, my kids would want to play Pokemon, except there is a big gap as to why they can't. Because Snuggles can't read. There are no voice actors. There is nothing. Pokemon is a lot of reading, and then there's a lot of time that you're expecting kids to read.
mean, yeah, but Snuggles is trying to play a video game at an early age. You weren't playing Nintendo fucking Super Nintendo at fucking 4 or at 3.
No, but Snuggles also plays Kingdom Hearts. But he plays Kingdom Hearts all the time. He's pretty solid at Kingdom Hearts. I would use that
argument when Snuggles becomes able to read. All Pokemon games have never been voice actors. They've always been games that you had to read. And at the age of 7 and 8, when kids actually started playing Game Boy and playing video games, they were able to read. Pokemon's words in the game are not super big ass words. They're using simple, basic fucking English. It's just Snuggles is 3 and can't read.
Snuggles is 4, but all right.
He's 4 and can't read.
Julian is 7. So let's say Julian.
Can your daughter play Pokemon?
Yeah, she just chooses not to because it's too much reading.
Exactly. Okay, let's put it on the level of children that are able to play the game because they can read. We're not going to count children that can't read.
Okay, hold on. Wait.
Because so Julian and Izzy are 7 and 10.
Others, right? What's the point that you're making here for a kid that has to read?
For a kid that has to read, who wants to sit there and read that much in a game that like is supposed to be entertaining? The Pokemon games have gone from like simple dialogue in these little boxes to now you have a long drawn out story where you actually have to sit there and read it. And it doesn't give you the option to skip it. You have to actively read it. When you're going down into Area 0 to talk to them, there are actual cutscenes where you have to wait for them to catch up with you. Like you're here off screen and they're way behind here trying to catch up and they're still talking. So you still have to read everything.
Yeah, you're talking even before you go to Area 0 too.
Yeah. So yeah, that happens a lot before you even go there. Yeah, but I mean like the unskippable parts, like the parts where you can't skip over it, the parts where like you notice this content means nothing, but you still have to wait for them to say everything. And then if you're a kid, it just sounds like you're really impatient.
Well, it's not even about impatience, right? How long? When was the first Pokemon to now? We have what? How many years have they been making these games?
I will agree that Pokemon does need voice actors.
Yes,
over 26.
I think that's the problem. And I'm going to be real with you, and I'm going to spoil it. Palworld has no voice acting. So if that makes any difference, same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that difficult to find people.
Does Monster World have voice actors? Is it Monster World?
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. Do they have voice
actors? Monster Hunter. Are you're thinking about a different game?
No, does Monster Hunter have voice actors?
Yes, you're thinking of a different game. Because Monster Hunter wouldn't be the same as Pokemon. Yeah. You probably think of
these are the issue here, because even Breath of the Wild has limited voice actors, right? Like there's voice actors in Breath of the Wild.
That's what I'm saying.
It's very limited. But the issue isn't the Pokemon company. That issue is a Nintendo issue, because Nintendo refuses to create an actual fucking console. So they want the chokehold on handheld games. There is no voice acting on handheld games, right? It's just because you're here, there's the speakers, you're doing a lot, it's technology, you're not going to create it in a fucking handheld.
To be fair, the PSP was released too early in its time.
Yes, I will say the PSP was released way too early for its time.
If it was released now, then they would have no choice but to actually make a standard home console.
Yeah.
Because they would be out of shit.
But because no one else makes a handheld game, because people like Microsoft and Sony say we don't fucking care to do it, Nintendo sticks to the only market that no one challenges it in, which is handheld games. But the issue is they're not going to, their next Switch, unless the Switch is a console game, Nintendo's going to lose. Well, Nintendo's already been losing the console war. Nintendo won't even be a factor in the console war because the Switch is the best you can do when it comes to handheld. I don't see you making a better handheld for me to comfortably hold and play and move around with that's going to be better than the Switch.
Well,
you already got OLED screens, so it's not like
Right.
you're making a higher resolution screen.
check it out.
I can't see you getting better than this. Like
Check
this.
this out. Y'all aren't really seeing what they're doing because, and I'm not.
And tablets are slowly catching up to you.
I'm pretty sure that's where they're gonna go. Listen, right?
Go.
And I don't want
from
to
this
sound
to this.
I don't want to sound terrible.
Nothing.
I don't want to sound like an asshole towards the company, but I think they're cowards. They're only making games for kids with kid games, and they're making consoles handhelds for those kids in general. It's not for you. It's not for me. It's not for people who are older. They're only making it for the kids. Think about this, right? You have the regular Switch. I dropped mine a couple times. Some other people dropped theirs, right? But you gotta think about how durable they are for kids. That's why they made the Switch Lite.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about docking or anything because it's easy for a kid to hold. It's easy to walk around with a kid.
Yeah. The issue is that when you created LED screens and 4K screens, you can't make that out of fucking plastic. So you drop that bitch, it's broken, and I'm not spending $300-$400. And again, Nintendo has an issue or their inability to fix and have parts available. So
no, it's not that they don't have parts. They're using they're using those parts specifically because if I break it, I have to buy a new one. I can't go and say, "Hey, can you fix the screen on my?" No, you have to buy a new one because your 8-year-old dropped it by accident. Now it's all ruined. You either got to go get it repaired, which is still going to cost you $1, or you got to get a new one. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's hard to even repair. The parts on the inside of the Switch isn't strong enough anyway. There are games like, man, have you seen a comparison to like Mortal Kombat from the PlayStation to the Switch? That's a nightmare. That's an actual nightmare.
But again, that's the same thing with the Pokemon Company. Pokemon Company and Nintendo Company are very similar in that matter. The Pokemon Company makes games for children. They're not making games for adults. The children that grew up with Pokemon and go and grow up 25 some odd years later, they're not making games for you anymore. They say, thank you for your service. Thank you for your money. We don't care about you anymore.
Congratulations.
We only care about
you graduated.
That time frame of 7 when they're able to fucking read to about 15. After that, the people outside of those age groups, we don't care for because we don't market to them. You don't market a big ass Pikachu.
Because
no, it is true.
That is very true. Pokemon's not marketing to adults.
Black and White and Black and White 2 were a breath of fresh air because it was a more adult-centered story, and there were more adult-centered stuff that happened. No. In the direct sequel from Black and White and Black and White 2, there were consequences for what happened, and they showed the consequences to, for example, the gym leaders. So there were 3 gym leaders that didn't fight in the last battle when the main bad guy comes up. You get in there and you thinking it's just like every other time you're going up against the evil organization. Then the gym leaders show up, but you notice that 3 of them aren't there. So when you come back and you play part 2 in the sequel, they demoted them as gym leaders. And you get to see that. And they explain, we got demoted for our lack of inaction in our fight against the bad guy.
It's not an adult thing.
I can see it, right?
But it was a more adult storyline. And then after you beat both Black and White 2, you can come back and challenge it on a hard mode. Most people don't know this because most people only bought either Black or White. But there were keys that were exchanged. When you beat them, you can exchange it, unlock it, and restart the game on a more challenging mode. So it's not just, with this and that. It's actually competitive. And in that generation, that was the first time that you were able to compete with not just experience your realm. You were able to compete with the champions.
That doesn't make it adult, and that doesn't make the company marketing to adults. It just means that
but that made it more like a competitive feel. That's where so Gen 5 is where it started to feel more like this is a competition and a competitive field.
Yes,
you can.
But
get
that's also when Pokemon.
Where a lot of people got into VGC.
But that's also when Pokemon's company as a whole started becoming more. They started creating competitions for Pokemon. Right? When you look back at it, they're not regionals.
Absolutely, or even because they realized that
they're not VGC competitions of Gen 1 and Gen 2
because there are
none because you can't make competitive Pokemon. right? You can not in Gen 1 and Gen 2, right? When it comes to changing stats and things, that became Gen 3 and beyond. Gens 1 and 2, you didn't have that. But then you have to create a competitive scene. That scene didn't come around until Gen 5. When you have your black and white, now you
Gen
can
5
create.
was where abilities.
But now you can create a competitive.
That's where the TMs.
But that is the only thing that Pokemon gives its adults, and barely. So is where they'll give their adults. But the Pokemon company as a whole is a children's company. They're marketing to children. They want children to buy these games. Well, they want children to play these games.
You're correct in saying that the game was made with adult themes, right? Those were adult themes. Like, it's not like it's the first time we've seen an adult theme. We've been to Lavender Town.
Yeah, that's what I said. I wouldn't call it adult theme. It's an older, more mature theme. But remember, their marketing is from 7 to 15.
Well,
so
that's
it's not an
I'm getting
adult
there. Look. At the end of the day, when I'm gonna use 8-year-old Billy. When 8-year-old Billy or Timmy, 8-year-old Timmy, little Timmy, when he goes and plays black, right? He's like, oh, this is great. And then, maybe a year or two later, I don't really remember. He's 9 now. Oh, black too. I want to get black too. Sure, I'll get black too. He's not looking into how the game is different exactly. It says Pokemon on the title. They're gonna straight up run for it. And that's what that's the whole thing. That's the whole where they have the monopoly of games where they like the rule over. It's Pokemon. So because it's Pokemon, they don't have to try hard. Like, you agree with me, right? Because
because there's no other competitor.
There's nothing to worry about.
Has gotten so lackadaisical.
They got lazy.
They got lazy because there was no other competitor.
There's nothing to worry about. Oh, maybe we'll make the next one open world. Sure, they'll love this. They're like, what open world Pokemon is there? Come on, guys. It's been years, right? They'll do it. And they're like, oh, man, it's so great, right? Right. I got you. Y'all like that, right? I guess. We got it.
Because we have nothing else to pick from.
We got it. We can't say anything. Like, it's here. It's okay. It's cool. I can walk around. I can turn my camera,
That's it.
But it is what it is.
Palworld has now made it to where you have to make a good game. If you don't, other companies, and it's not about Palworld, it's about other gaming companies that are going to look at this and say, oh shit, Pokemon tried to sue Palworld. They failed at it because that's what happened. They failed. And then how else can we exploit, or let's get with Palworld and who created that, to exploit the loopholes of trademarks, of plagiarism, and all of those legal things to create a game that can compete in the Pokemon field. So now what happens is you'll have new games coming out with little monsters running around, you catching them, motherfucking shooting shit, or you taming them, and then they create a more adult themed Pokemon. So like Charizard, kind of like Pokemon Adventures, the manga, where Pokemon actually do adult themed shit. Like
our bugs get cut in half.
Like
people get
stabbed, actually hyper beaming and killing someone, like
destroying a whole city full of people and populations. Yes. I think that it's good that the game came out because it should literally make them shit their pants. Like, oh shit, this game is really good.
They did shit their pants.
It took 3 years for them to make this game. By the way, 3 years to make this game. It's really good.
Pokemon
it looks great. It looks great. So now it's like
it makes me want to go buy an Xbox. I don't even have an
Xbox. This is on PC. Now they really have to think: do we need a console to do what they did? Yes, we do. Because if we don't, we're gonna release the same shit. It's gonna be less fucking optimized. And what's gonna happen? And no one's gonna want to buy this shit. They're gonna want to fucking go shoot somebody in Palworld. They want to go catch some guy and make him, I don't know, make food. Which you can do. But like, hey, I'm gonna catch you. That's cool, bro. Now you're my slave. Go make some food.
Mm-hmm. And I think
right there next to Grisbolt and whatever that lava thing is.
The one we argued about this a little bit before we got on. The only company that was close enough but failed miserably at keeping up was Digimon. Right? They were close.
Yeah.
They were close. And I want, for my Digimon lovers, I love Digimon too. This is not to say that Digimon is not good.
He's capping.
Digimon is good.
I love Digimon. Rich is talking shit.
No.
He was saying this offline.
Listen to what I'm saying. Digimon is good. Mm-hmm. They're not on the same level as Pokemon. That we not agree to that? That they're not on the same level as Pokemon. They're good. We would, and I know that they're not on the same level
over Pokemon's anime.
But see, that's just a personal preference. When we're looking at the statistics of everything, their Digimon world, the Digiverse, is not as big and or as great as the Pokemon world. It's not. It hasn't done well in any category against Pokemon, whether it's anime, whether it's manga, whether it's card games, whether it's video games, whether it's merchandise, whether it's competitions, whether it's fan support.
Can I run you through something real quick?
Info and not necessarily on Digimon.
First, I was gonna say first and foremost, I would rather play Digimon World Dawn or Dusk over anything before the Switch, just because there's not a Digimon game specifically that I want to buy for the Switch yet. There is a game for it. I just don't want to buy that right now. Okay. That's because I know what the game is about. I played the game, and it is pretty much like it is Pokemon, just it's different.
Give me an open world Digimon game.
Digimon World Cyber Sleuth. Digimon World Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Digimon World 1, 2, 3, 4.
As
Digimon World.
Not as a show, as a video game.
Yes. I just gave you like
what system did that come out on?
PlayStation 2, 3. I believe there were PC releases.
There were a couple for Xbox.
So your newest one, or your most recent one was PS2, which was in 2002.
No, the most recent one was
Switch.
No, your most recent open world.
Oh, most of them were. Everything is open world for Digimon. That's the problem. That's why it's hard to actually make a comparison between Digimon and Pokemon. Yeah, sure, Pokemon does this and it's not like that, but no, Digimon is open world. Straight out the gate, like, hey, here's a Digi-Egg. You better live your best life before you get ransacked. They're going to cover your pockets. Now, let me tell you something else. Pokemon versus Digimon. Ash tried to punch Mewtwo. Dumbass. Ash tried to punch Mewtwo. Got his ass sent back. We have Marcus Damon from the Digimon Data Squad. He punches every Digimon. They get sent.
That's how he starts the fight. He can't Digivolve until he's...
Bro, it's fighting time. It's time to fight.
Digimon started cheating.
Cheating. Man, you got
hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. When you started fusing Tamers and Digimon together, the human can become the Digimon. You're not a part of this. What happens if Ash could fuse with Charizard? You think Ash is gonna punch it out of Mewtwo?
He's not gonna listen to himself. He's gonna run around in circles and get confused because his Charizard didn't listen to him.
Did that not happen with Ash and Greninja? That nigga still long.
Yeah. We gotta think about that. The bonds.
Soul bonding was not Ash turning into Greninja.
Fair. What about the girl who used his pain? What was that Pokemon movie? Was it Rude? The girl using the Pokemon moves. What do we do about that?
I mean, remember? And you have so many. Like, what about the one where Entei was basically the girl's dad? Like, she created that.
What about the
Pokemon
fact that Mewtwo
world.
was made with human DNA?
Okay, so there are scientists that create. He wasn't made with human DNA. He was made by humans with Mew's DNA, trying to replicate Mew. Which is why they called him Mewtwo.
I'm giving it the Digimon, the manga series, because it makes more sense for why Mewtwo is like that instead of turning into a Ditto. By the way, Ditto are the failed Mew. I hope you understand that.
No, Ditto's its own thing.
No, Dittos are failed Mew experiments. They were supposed to be Mew. That's why they can transform and use anything, any move, because they transform into Pokemon.
Their shiny colors are the same. Like
it's an old theory. Anyway, so the
theory, not a thing. It's a theory. It's a theory, not a thing, because Ditto is an actual numbered Pokemon.
Hold on. There's a reason as to why
every legendary has a number in the Pokédex.
It does have a number.
You created the Pokédex in Pokemon Arceus. You wrote that shit down. You numbering it comes down to you, nigga. That's not up to.
At that point, yeah.
And they showed you that in Arceus.
I was gonna say, look,
we don't count Arceus. Arceus was It was
See what I mean?
But
That's Palworld, what it's
and
supposed to be,
shows
so it makes you
creating
think,
the
make you
first
want to do stuff.
Pokédex.
Arceus should have been way better. Let's just point that out.
Arceus is good. It was great. It's
I
the
like
first
Arceus.
step in
Great
the
is
right
a strong
direction.
word. It was decent. At
It's
best.
the first step in the right direction.
Yes, I will say that.
That's why it's good. It's the
And
first
then,
step in the
but then
right
you came out with
direction.
Gen
That's the
10,
reason
but
why
then
it's
they
good.
came out with Gen 10 and took 4 steps back.
I don't work for them. I know better.
They took 5, but all right. Because like it was super glitchy. Like I still run into Pokemon in Gen 10 that aren't there. Like shit just appears on the screen and I'm fighting something that's like
I think we're blaming
it isn't even on
Pokemon
a
for
screen.
Nintendo. There's only so much shit you can put on a fucking Switch. Like it's a console, it's a handheld console. There's only so much gigs, RAM, and storage you can put in that motherfucker for shit to act right. And we want Pokemon to give us an open world, great ass 4K game on a fucking 6x6 system. Like the screen size of a Switch is 7 inches. What the fuck? What am I gonna do with that?
Laugh at it hilariously and look at my 20-some inch monitor and my other 30, 40 inch monitor.
I get pissed off at a 20-inch TV. What the fuck I'm gonna do with a fucking 7-inch Switch? That I'm doing that's the problem. Is fucking Nintendo not creating an actual console. So that's where I'm gonna place the blame at. I'm gonna place the blame.
Like we said, they're getting lazy, they're even complacent. If this Palworld being made is great. It makes them scared because they can't exactly sue or file a lawsuit in the way they want to. Because if they could, right, it would have already happened. Well, it would have already happened in the past like couple weeks.
And again, I'm no lawyer, but from the things that I've read and seen, part of the issue, especially with Pokemon, and part of the issue, and then Pokemon hopefully will think about it, with having different creatures like this, is you have to trademark, and you have to trademark each individual character.
So you might have read the same thing I did. They've trademarked several of their mascots. They've
only trademarked mascots.
Yeah, only mascots. Only
Pikachu,
mascots.
Charizard.
Actually, I think it's most of the starters because we'll talk about that later because there's a thing I showed you. But Scorbunny and
the name Pokemon
is
trademarked and copyrighted, and so you can't do anything with that. But so like other Pokemon like Lucario, right? There's no protection against that,
right?
Because so I could take it, and I'm not going to blatantly do it, but until Pokemon does it, I could take fucking Weedle that's not copyrighted, draw another worm with a fucking horn on his head, change his name to Dweedle, and go for it because there's no protection against it.
Oh, I want to do it, and I might do it later, but I'll go find it from Lucario. Let's first off, on the record, I'm not trying to copyright anything. I'm not trying to get in trouble. But I could go get an image of Lucario to draw anything on him. It doesn't matter. I could just draw him with like 2 horns, 3 horns, or whatever, and just put an L at the end of his name, and that's a completely different Pokemon. It's completely different. Whatever I want it to be. It's not even Pokemon.
This is the problem.
I don't know who that guy is.
This is the problem with copyrights and trademarks in general, because you can do the same thing as an artist, right? So prime example, and what you can't trademark is art styles. That's in the law. You cannot trademark art styles.
That's a different art style.
That's a different art style.
That's a different art style. Then
art style.
We know what it is, but it's a different art style.
If it is hand drawn by someone else, it's their art. It is not the art of Sonic.
Ray's Arts says it right there.
That's what I'm saying. So the thing is if Ray, let's say Ray, I love you. I'm not going to try to steal your art, but let's just say Ray didn't copyright that Sonic. I could take that Sonic, go put it on a shirt, print that bitch on a shirt, and go sell it.
Hey, all I'm saying is Ray's a big dude.
It's not copyrighted, and I can do what I want with it. This is why rights are so important for artists. But this is why I can draw Goku in a Supreme hoodie with Tim's on and sell it. As long as I never put his name on it, because Goku is copyrighted. But his image isn't. Because Dragon Ball Z or they've never made Goku in a Supreme jacket. So he's a whole other character, technically.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never seen that character in my life.
And so that's what Palworld did. They said, "Oh, you made that's a cute little Pikachu you made there. Be ashamed if someone put fucking guns on the back of his hand and just named him something completely different."
I mean, Terriermon from what's the name? Like,
yep, but Terriermon is green, not yellow.
Terriermon is green. It looks nothing like Pikachu.
And looks nothing like Pikachu. He's just a big ass rabbit. And you know what you can't copyright? The drawing of rabbits.
You can make your own rabbit.
Yeah, you make your own rabbit. And that's what they did. They made their own version of a rabbit with a big ass grin.
They did. And I mean,
you can't copyright Anubis. So if I change Anubis and make it to something completely different, then damn it, that's what I did.
Because
Anubis is the mascot. So what you gonna do about it? Saying this is good. It's a wake up for them.
It's a wake up call. It's a shot in the dark that they took. They put out and they sold 20 million copies in the first week.
And I'm about to go buy Xbox just
what you don't know. What you don't know is they doubled down on their shit. Because after Nintendo sent that thing like, oh, we're gonna look into yada yada stuff or whatever. It's completely fine. Stop talking to us about Palworld. They doubled down, made a roadmap. They said, oh yeah, there's gonna be PvP and whatnot soon. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna make more stuff. Like,
yeah, because they realized if we're not going to get sued,
please don't let yourselves get beat by.
It's not even that. What I don't want to happen is the fan base. Please do not leave Palworld. Keep it there. Keep it growing. Keep it going. Because what you're going to do ultimately, and if no lie, Pokemon fans, go play Palworld. Yep. Because what you're going to force Pokemon to do is create a better fucking game.
Because Pokemon has already apologized, and I've never heard Pokemon apologize for the comments and concerns that they've had following the last game. We complained about Sword and Shield, nothing. We complained about Sun and Moon, nothing.
Well, remember, Sword and Shield was the first of its kind, so there's nothing for them to apologize for because it's the very first of its kind when it comes to Pokemon being open world.
Absolutely. However, and Sword and Shield sold record amounts of numbers.
Right. But this one was supposed to be leaps and bounds better. Scarlet and Violet was supposed to be leaps and bounds better than Sword and Shield, and it wasn't. It was drastically underwhelming.
Innovative. It underwhelmed.
Their problem is they released Legends Arceus in between the gens. Had they not, we probably wouldn't have been as mad with Gen 10 because there was nothing that we could have compared it to other than Sword and Shield. But because we got Legends Arceus and we were like, hold on. So you motherfuckers can make some dope shit. Or you can make some shit that makes sense.
You were able to complete the entire Pokédex in Legends Arceus without needing someone else. You've gone back to the point where you need other people to get the things inside the game. You get the DLC, you go all the way through. Let's say you're playing and you're like, oh snap, I beat the DLC. Now I want to go catch the legendaries. There's a guy named Snacksworth that's out there. He gives you the snacks for all the legendaries, but he tells you, wait, you need friends to do these BBQ adventures with before you can even go catch the rest of these legendaries. And you like, what the fuck? I still need people? So now if I, as a grown man, don't know anyone that I feel comfortable to say, hey, you play Pokemon? Because I feel
like that's a you problem. You're a grown man and you don't know how to talk to people. I feel like
I'm saying like that's if you don't have friends that play Pokemon. Let's say you're that one individual in your friend group that plays, you don't know anyone else. You're not reaching out to people to be like, you play Pokemon? You play Pokemon?
Go make friends. There are plenty of, and this is one thing that I've learned. There are plenty of, especially when you get on PlayStation, Xbox, of people that are looking for other people to help join their quest to do shit. There's a Pokemon portal for you to make friends. There's Facebook groups for you to make friends. There are safe places for you to join, sir. You just want to be antisocial and not want to play with people. And again, that's not Pokemon's problem. That is your problem.
But I'm saying if you are that person that does not have friends and you do not, I have friends. Me and my friends completed the BBQs.
Pokemon is making games for the one individual who chooses to not have friends.
By the way, I thought I'd share this. You can go to a random guy's server full of I don't know how many people. he could type out and make friends in Palworld just like that. So you don't, you can't do that in Pokemon without some extra thing. Palworld, you go in, type, hey bro, new to Palworld, I'm really excited, want to make some friends. Sure, come on over, we'll hang out, we'll talk, blah 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 blah. You make a guild, get together.
Yeah, one thing that I do like about
that's the one
Palworld that Legend Arceus failed at was the being realistic when catching alpha Pokemon, right? Just throwing a bunch of rocks at it and Pokeballs until you eventually catch it is stupid. Let me actually, shoot it. Get its health down.
I can't,
something. But for me to just jump and dodge Garchomp's fucking swinging big ass arm, like, and all
you have to do that. Matter of fact, I said first 5 minutes, I said, whatever, forget it. I'm in some rags. I see a giant, whatever. I'm gonna go fight it. Fuck the weapons. Me and my fist. We're gonna fight, and I did. And I mean, like, it was funny, and I was laughing, but it was cool. Like, you actually have to dodge because they will kill you if you do not like fight back. Like, if you start a fight, you better finish it because they're gonna come after you. They don't stop. You can run and hide, but they will try to find you actively. They will run into you. They will kill you. Like, Palworld is life. I'm just excited, but plays Palworld right now.
I mean, I ain't never seen you out there fighting nothing. Like, I've seen you go past a squirrel and not look at it like, I gotta capture that squirrel.
Well, you better hope they don't see you either, because some of them, just like Pokemon's like, hey, yeah, I might want to. You looking at you coming in my hood. I'm gonna snatch that. Run your pockets. Like, they will come after you. So,
but
this has been a great argument about all the allegations, all the stuff. Let's end this on something that's real, and we are going to make an announcement. This is the first time I'm telling Mikey this because Mikey is being involved in this. We just got our announcement date. I just got the email earlier. We know exactly when and where we will be for our very first con, and this is our very first live announcement of it. Y'all ready? Saturday, March 9th, Washington, D.C. We will be at AwesomeCon, 6:30 p.m., room 207B, for our panel. Is Batman Anime Court? Is Batman a criminal? We will be putting Batman on trial. So if you are in the area, if you are going to AwesomeCon, if you just want to come hang out with your boys and see us, Rich not included. Rich got some Texas shit going on. He's still working out for Blerd. But if you want to see me and Mikey go at it with other people, if you want to come meet Britt, if you want to come meet Asia, if you want to come see any of us, even the HNIC crews pulling up, I got it live from them when we were at our Royal Rumble watch party. Curtis told me himself, I can't wait to see you there. If you're looking for something to do that Saturday, March 9th, come see us at AwesomeCon. We're going to throw an amazing panel. We will launch our first of the season con panel of Is Batman a Criminal? We will do a part 2 because I can't do this without Rich because, well, one, Rich will try to beat me up if I don't. And this nigga is clearly in Texas working out for like
that exactly.
On the spot. So
to be Batman.
To be Batman. Just less money.
Yeah. Way less money.
Like, extremely I'm broke. I'm poor.
Yeah. I'm like Batman, like I'm Robin.
I'm not even
Robin had a regular day job. So again,
the Robin that was robbing niggas. That Robin.
Oh, that
Robin. Robin that was robbing niggas.
That Robin.
So listen, if you are free March 9th, Saturday, be at AwesomeCon. We will be there. We will be excited to see everybody. We will start our panel promptly, not on CP time, but promptly because we are excited to be a welcome panelist at AwesomeCon at 6:30. So if you can make it, we love to see you. You get to see us do our thing. We'd start this up and then we'd finish it at BlerdCon. That's the plan. So we start in March, we end in July. So if you can't catch us in March, catch us in July at BlerdCon when Rich is there and we closing in on this. We get a definitive actual count and we will keep track of how many people keep Is Batman a Criminal from con to con, from panel to panel, and we will live tell everybody at BlerdCon, here's our conjoined numbers. Here's what the jury said. Our judge, Palworld's #1 degenerate, will keep all of this written down. He will keep us on track. I am just here to facilitate and tell people we doing it, baby. We here. So we'd love to see you. Until next time, folks, we out.
Peace.
Bodies next to bodies like an obligation. Overflowing with these